قال الله وعلى Yahweh Bashim Shai Basham Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Brother Manatazaki again with another short video. Now, this video was inspired by the video Elder Apostle Gaba Salaka did. I think it was a day, 2 days ago. I'm not really sure. But when I watched the video, I was inspired to do this video. So like I'm not doing it, so far down. But nevertheless, the title of the video, if I remember correctly, was we have to be aware of our sacrifice, and he was going into how the works is we sacrifice. He bring out the Romans 12:1, make your body a living sacrifice, so on and so forth. And I hope that he really was going down. You understand? So that's what inspired this video, So we will get right to it. Right, I want to start with because this video is really, to the men, or so-called men, because they don't prove themselves to be men, right, of the truth, right, who preach not according to the doctrine, right. If they not in 8 and 20, right. Isaiah 8 and 20, it says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. When I say this word, it means all the Holy Scriptures, the Bible, right? It has no light in them if they do speak according to this word. Now, to the ones, or most doctrines that I want to call it spin-offs, because they know there is Israel, but yet they're preaching things such as, for instance, for example, i.e., e.g., all nations could be saved. That is really who this video is geared towards, right? So I'm going to go to the title precept, which is John 4. St. John, the book of St. John 4, and I believe I started at 5 down to 22. You could start at 1, but nevertheless, right? It says, then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. Yahushua, therefore being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahushua said unto her, give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. And then said the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Yahushua answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of power, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked him, and he would have given thee living water. You understand? Yeah, if you didn't know it was the Son of the Almighty ask you, right? The Word incarnate, the Spirit of prophecy asking you, give me some water to drink. You would not react, you would not question it, right? The woman said unto him, sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Yahushua answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Now, what Yahushua was talking about there was the word. All right? It was the word. You know, I mean, the spirit. Yeah? Verse 15. The woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahushua said unto her, Go, call thy husband and come hither. Right? Because why? That is order. That is ordinance. The head of the man is the head of Yahushua, is as the head of Yahushua. The head of the woman is as the head of the man. Right? The man is over the woman. So Yahushua say, Hey, go call your husband. And all you go come now by and I go. And you know what I mean? That's how the order does go. Right? It says, this is verse 17. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahushua saith unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband, in that thou saidest thou truly. You understand? So the first man she lied with was the actual husband. After that, it was just basically adultery. Right? The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Or maybe she husband had passed. Who knows? Right? But the first one is really she husband. Afterwards is verse 20. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Yahushua said unto a woman, Believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father, which is this time we talking about. Right? Because we are the men of the Lord, we are the men of the truth, we are the hopefully elect. Right? And I've never been to Jerusalem, I've never been to Samaria, but yet I worship the Lord. Right? Verse 22. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. And this is the point of reading through Allah. Right? Because why? Y'all think y'all worship the Lord by calling yourself Israel. Alright, all you know the history, okay, good. But all you don't preach that salvation is of the Jews. All you preach, anybody could get saved. Yahushua didn't push that doctrine. Right? He did not preach that. He did not teach that. And that is why I entitled the video, Ye worship ye know not what. Because how you could say, well, I worship in the Lord. Right? I worship in the Almighty Father. I is a man of the truth. Yet the name of your camp have Christ in it. It's not even his son name. And you're justifying it, or you try to justify it, which is a whole bundle of BS. Then you're pushing and preaching anybody could get saved, any nation could get saved. It's our ones who preaching, hey, Edom go come back and they go make weapons out of, stone and whatever. And all kind of mad fucking doctrines. Right? That is madness. Yeah, that is lunacy. So yeah, ye worship you know not what. Let me get my second verse up here. Matthew 15 and 24. So you look at Matthew 15 and verse 24. It says, But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Yeah. Now you was shine. Read up. Verse 22. Matthew 15 and 22. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, Thou son of David, my daughter is grievously vexed with the devil. But he answered her not a word. And this and his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You understand? He is not sent except but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That is who he sent to. So if he is not any of the sheep lost or found, how could you possibly receive this word or receive this doctrine or receive salvation for that matter? How does that concept even work? The one who bringing salvation himself says, I am not sent but unto the lordship of the house of Israel. Not the house next to Israel or the house of Israel and the house behind it, opposite it, under it. No. The house of Israel. Flat out. Plain. I believe my next precept is Luke 1 and 61 or 60 or somebody. Yeah. 69. I'll start at 68. I'm gonna just double check to make sure. Yeah, Luke 168 to 73. It says, Blessed be the Lord power of Israel, for he of Israel, not of the world of Israel. For he had visited and redeemed his people. So if he's the Lord power of Israel, his people would be the Israelites. Yeah? Or nay? I mean, if he's a man of the word, a man of the truth, the answer has to be yeah, because it's written in the word. Alright? It says, and he hath had raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, right? And to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father David, right? Salakia Abraham. I don't know how David come out with Salakia about Abraham. The oath which he swore to our father David. Abraham. What the fuck? Luke 1 and 73, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham. Alright. I have to correct myself there, man. What kind of spirit is that, right? So, alright. We just verify that with 73, right, guys? Because if it, I mean, in 2018 or 2016, I believe you were saying if you can't get by now, you're gonna never get. And clearly, and they didn't get then. So, and this is just to show that, hey, they still do fucking get it. You know what I mean? They worship, they don't even know what. They don't. They fucking don't. Galatians 3 and I think it's verse 16. Yeah, there is it. It says, now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He said not unto seeds as of many, but as of one, unto thy seed, which is Mashiach. On what line Mashiach come true? Isaac. Alright? Yeah. Isaac, that was from his wife Sarah. Abraham and Sarah had Isaac. And later down through Isaac's lineage, we get Yahushai, Hamashiach. That is the savior of the world. That is the bringer of salvation. Now, when I say the world, I'm talking about John 3 and 16. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. And that will day, when you go into the bulletin, you know what I mean? It goes back to what the ornament of the stars. And who did he promise that he'd make the seas like the ornament of the stars? Abraham. That is homework. Go research it yourself. Now, let me close off in same book, chapter 4, and I believe it's verse 22. Yes. For it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one by a bondmaid, and the other by a free woman. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman was by promise. All right, so I go back to 3 and 16, right? Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He said not unto seeds as of many, but as of one, unto thy seed, which is Mashiach. Verse chapter 4 and verse 22. For it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one by a bondmaid and the other by a free woman. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, the bondwoman being Hagar, however you want to pronounce it. But he of the free woman was by promise, which is Sarah, which is Isaac. He had two sons, Ishmael, Isaac. Isaac was who? The forefather of, you know what I mean, Yahushai. I mean, I could tell you who Isaac really was, but we are going down the rabbit hole tonight. Yeah? And this video, once again, was inspired by Elder Apostle Gaba, who did a beautiful video on us to be aware of our sacrifice, which is the works. You understand? And he went down on it. You all should go and look at that video. Alright? I shared it in the group chat, so you all should look at the video. Yeah. So I hope this video was inspiring. Hope it's back food for thought as well. Through the spirit and power of your Hashem Yoshai, Hashem Kakadash. Until next time, shalom.